Hello guys, it's Marek here and welcome to yet another episode of PhotoshopLightroomTV, your video podcast about anything Photoshop, Lightroom and photography as well. And this week what I have for you is a Lightroom tutorial, or actually not as much as Lightroom tutorial as a conversation about RAW versus JPEG. We all know that if you're really serious about your photography, RAW is the only option, or RAW is the best option, because one of the biggest disadvantages to JPEG is JPEG compresses the files. It's a really great file format, but it's a highly compressed file format, and JPEG is adjusting your images whether you like it or not. Sometimes this leads to some good effects because JPEG will try to make your files look good, look better. Sometimes it doesn't. Like for example, I have these two images here. One of them is a RAW file. They a bit overexposed, and the other one is a JPEG. So as you can see, I haven't done anything to these images in here. So as you can see, JPEG is darker straight away because the camera tried to adjust it and make it look better. Okay. There's the RAW. There's the JPEG. I'm not sure if you can see it on the screen, but JPEG is definitely much darker in the sky, and the building is a bit darker as well, because the camera tried to make it look better, so it does look different. Well, there's lots of disadvantages. Well, there's lots of advantages to shooting DNG or RAW in general than compared to JPEG. For example, when it comes to editing images, when it comes to developing images, what you're going to see is with the JPEG, you can't change the white balance. Well, you kind of can, but all you got in here is the auto, or you could just manually customize the white balance. You could use the eyedropper as well. Well, with the DNG, you can access all the presets for white balance that you can normally find on a camera. So if you shoot RAW and you set the white balance not right, you can always change it, or you don't have to worry about the white balance on your RAW file. Just leave it on auto, as many photographers do, and you change it in the camera. You can do it in here. Well, I'm sorry, in the camera, in the software, you can do it in here, to daylight, for example. And the image now looks much better. With JPEG, we don't have a daylight, so I would need to probably increase the temperature a bit. I don't know how much, because it's just showing the plus and minus. With RAW, even when you tweak it manually, you can see the temperature in kelvins. So for example, I would set it here to 5,500 kelvins to get a really nice image. With the JPEG, I don't know how to set it in here, because just plus 2, plus 5, plus 10 and so on. So lacks this control. Now, you get even bigger differences between RAW and JPEG when you look at underexposed images. Like for example, I've got these two images here. They both were underexposed. The camera didn't seem to do much on the JPEG. Okay. So, I'm going to start with the DNG file. I'm in develop module already, and I'm going to try to recover some shadows. So I'll take it all the way to maximum, a little bit in here, and I'll increase the exposure. Let's say one stop. Okay, easy to remember. So one stop. Now do the same on the JPEG. So I will switch to the JPEG. I'll set the exposure to 1. I'll brighten the shadows in these areas here. Okay, and we're going to compare them. So go back to the library module. I'll select both images. I'll go to the preview mode. I'll hide the panels on the sides. So okay. Even looking at the images right now, I can see that the DNG file, the RAW file, is a bit brighter. Okay, looks better in the shadows area, but let's have a look closer. So I'm going to start zooming in on these two images. Okay, I'm going to take it to 200% view, and we'll look at these two images. Okay. I'm not sure if you can see it in the video on your screen, but looking at these two images, for example, JPEG has a little bit more noise than the DNG file, and it's lost a bit of a detail that I can still get here in the DNG file. Like looking at these petals here, they look slightly better on the DNG file. But even the thing with the noise, it's a bit more visible on the JPEG than on the DNG file, on the RAW file, especially in this area here, close to very dark pixels. There's much more noise here in the JPEG than there is in the DNG file. Okay? So there's lots of things when it comes to DNG file, well, RAW files and JPEG. I think the main one is the flexibility. So you can tweak everything back in the software like Lightroom or Photoshop. It's mainly because with the RAW files have higher dynamic range than JPEGs. So to take the full advantage of the full dynamic range of the file, shoot RAW. And as you can see, when you process your files, it doesn't take any longer to process a RAW file than a JPEG. It may load a bit longer initially, but once you get loaded, they are almost the same, even though the RAW file will be much bigger compared to JPEGs, because JPEGs are compressed. Okay, there's just a quick couple of tips on working with RAW and JPEGs in Lightroom. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. This was another episode of Photoshop Lightroom TV. I'm Marek Mularczyk from saitraining.co.uk. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.